And then all the Cavalcade stacks trigger our Pyreling, which is pretty disgusting, and it gets double strike. Ooga! Right? That is the top end. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. I'm back with another Core Set's 2021 deck. We're taking a break from the competitive and jank decks and bringing you guys one of my favorite free-to-play decks. It's Temur Elementals, which focuses around, where is it? It's Cavalcade of Calamity, which deals 1 damage to opponent whenever you attack with a creature of power 1 or less, which is pretty cool. And then we're comboing that with Chandra's Spitfire, our new card, Chandra's Pyreling, which is really cool. And then we're not running mono red, we're running a Temur version just so we can get more value out of our cards. So there's a little bit of security if you do get wiped, because Risin Reef is going to ramp you. It's going to draw a full mitt of cards for you in your hand, which is really cool. And the elementals within the deck are so cheap that you should be able to easily drop them on top of Risin Reef just to help ramp those cards, help put more land in the field, help draw more elementals into your hand to play on top of your Risin Reef even further. And ideally, the main goal of Risin Reef is to draw you multiple copies of Cavalcade of Calamity, which is going to turn these creatures into absolute nukes. If our opponent has blockers, we have Cosmotronic Wave. We're getting way too far into it though. We're going to break down the deck list, first of all, card by card, and then we're going to get into the deck strategy. You've seen a sneak preview there. Then we're going to break down today's gameplay footage, talk about all the different plays we can find within this new M21 meta, and then closing out, we're going to look at my final thoughts of the deck and talk about what you'll see next. So with that all being said, don't forget to like the video if you find any value and share it to a friend as well. Starting out, we have 4 copies of Scorch Spitter. It's a 1/1. Whenever Scorch Spitter attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. 4 copies of Healer of the Glade, a 1/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. Moving on to our 2-drops, 4 copies of Cavalcade of Calamity and enchantments. Whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, Cavalcade of Calamity deals 1 damage to that player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. 4 copies of Chandra's Pyreling. This is a new card, a 1/3, and whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Pyreling gets +1/+0 and gains double strike until end of turn. 4 copies of Igneous Cur, another new card, a 1/2, in which we can sink 2 mana into and giving it +2/+0 until end of turn, so that's really neat. 4 copies of Leafkin Druid, a 0/3, tap it to add a forest. If you control 4 more creatures, add 2 forests instead. Onto our 3-drops, 4 copies of Chandra's Spitfire, a 1/3 with flying. Whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, Chandra's Spitfire gets +3/+0 until end of turn. 2 copies of Light Up the Stage, sorcery, spectacle cost for 1, which means we have to have dealt damage earlier on in the turn to use that cost. If not, it costs 3. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards. 4 copies of Risin Reef, a 1/1. And whenever it or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it into the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card into the battlefield, put it into your hand instead. Onto our 4-drops, 2 copies of Cosmotronic Wave. Sorcery, deals 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls, and creatures your opponents control cannot block this turn. 3 copies of Scampering Scorcher. This is a 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red elementals. And then all elementals that we control gain haste until the end of turn, which is really powerful. These spells, of course, are accompanied by 4 islands, 4 mountains, 4 forests, 3 Swiftwater Cliffs, 3 Rugged Highlands, 3 Thorn Waterfalls. So the land's pretty equally balanced. I think we could adjust it a little bit to favor red a little higher. So let's do that right now for you guys so we don't hear any land complaints. We're just trimming the islands by 2 and putting our mountains by 2. Just a little problem that we've encountered in today's gameplay footage. So that's the deck list. Let's talk about the strategy. I'm sure you're probably semi-familiar with it if you've been with the channel for a bit. We've showcased this deck quite a bit. And then we accidentally got way into it at the start of this video. But Cavalcade makes all of your low-cost elementals do chip damage. The chip damage powers up your Chandra's Pyreling and Chandra's Spitfire to absolute insane amounts. The Spitfire is nice because it has flying, which is evasion, so it gets around blockers pretty easily. But the Pyreling has double strike, which is really, really cool. So they're both very powerful in their own ways. Like I talked about before, Risin Reef is just gas to the fire. It's going to make you ramp, which just explodes the deck, gives you more mana to cast more elementals, to draw more cards. It kind of compounds, right? You get a little bit of an exponential effect with Risin Reef turn after turn, especially if you can begin to stack them. And then we just want to get our Spitfire out, get our Pyreling out, play our Scorcher on top of it with all the lands, and then attack with everything. Cavalcade's going to trigger a million times, which is going to buff up the Spitfire and the Pyreling. And then if he has a ton of blockers and we're worried about surviving and needing to do more damage, there's the Cosmotronic Wave, which means he can't block, and then all your elementals will survive, and you can do it again next turn. The deck does suffer against field wipes if you don't have Risin Reef out early. Get it out as soon as you can, and then just start drawing elementals with it, so at least it has a positive value rather than just draining your hand. The deck does dodge some control really well, just because it's so fast, and then Elspeth Conqueror's Death doesn't really have much to hit, and Teferi doesn't want to bounce too many elementals because it's just going to re-trigger Risin Reef when we replay it. So it's a pretty good matchup there. This is the free-to-play version. We have the upgraded version, which incorporates the 3-cost Chandra that brings out 2 1/1 elementals, Thunderkin Awakener, which brings back an elemental or just a creature card from your graveyard, I believe, which is really, really cool. We can bring our Risin Reef or our Scampering Scorcher. And yeah, those are the two that come to mind. Omnarth as well goes in there quite nicely. But that's another video. This is M21 free-to-play elementals. That was the deck list. This was the strategy. I'm live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. We have daily uploads on YouTube. We do the premieres now, so come chat live there as well. And then we have a banging Discord that you should also join to learn more about our community events that you should partake in. All free entry, cash prized situations, so that's really cool. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, hit the bell icon, and do it all again tomorrow, right? Thanks for watching, you guys. Really appreciate everyone who continues to spend their time and attention with me, and even more so those of you who support the channel financially. You guys are incredible. Without further ado, let's get into M21 free-to-play elementals. All right, land looks good. We have Risin Reef. That's the winning card. Play tap land first, which is annoying. We have a Spitfire. We'll use Risin Reef to look for our Cavalcade. Probably just still getting our slow lands out of the way. Get our Spitter out. Don't really need life gain yet. Arrow's a bummer, but at least it leaves the battlefield. Go Risin Reef! I love when it ramps the land up. So much cooler. 1 damage though, that's fine. We have a couple elementals to drop. Next turn, we might just go in big. Looks like he's maybe stuck on land. That's really, really helpful. Let's just push our Risin Reef as far as we can before anything happens to it. Ooh, I like that. They can both swing in. You get 2 damage. Oh, Big time bully. At least he's stuck on land, and at least we have another reef. This is our new elemental lizard I've been so hyped about. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, it gets +1/+0 and gains double strike. So the Sword Spitter triggers that, Cavalcade triggers that. Just get as much out of Risin Reef as we can. Oh, there's a Cavalcade. Perfecto. So we can play our Cavalcade here. I guess we should have played our healer first so it would have had haste. That's on me. The stage is pretty cool too. And then all the Cavalcade stacks will trigger our Pyreling, which is pretty disgusting, and it gets double strike. Ooga! Right? That is the top end that Cavalcade was missing. And no longer do we have to rely on solely Chandra Spitfire. There's a little bit of free-to-play power there. And we got hit with Storm's Wrath as well. So able to quickly recover and just pump out an absurd amount of damage. Roping? Oh, goodness gracious. I might rope if I got beat by a budget deck too. We let them know who we are. Oof. Sorry for ending the stream on this guy and his fans. My bad. Ours must go on though, and I want to continue to showcase the power. Chandra's Pyreling. Just the combination of the Spitfire and the Pyreling with Cavalcade in a heavy value based Risin Reef deck. It's just so good. Crazy ramp, crazy draw, crazy damage. I guess it doesn't matter. With the rope, we should have just attacked. I'm not sure why I'm trying to break down the play. Well, we're live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. Daily uploads on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, hit the bell icon, then come and do it every single day for the rest of your life. And then we can watch ropes together. I've been writing a new hit single. It's called like the Yorion rope. It's like, you know, like the what's it called? I won't call it. It's like, what is that song called? It's like a nursery rhyme. All right, land base sucks, but the turn 1, turn 2 is pretty cool. So we're gonna go against everything we know. I'm sure we'll draw forest at some point. He's gonna think. A mono red deck. He had an aggressive mulligan there, so maybe it works out okay. I love these dog sleeves, they're pretty cool.
Keep forgetting this.
Just when I say we won't need land, we pull Risin Reef immediately. No attacks this turn. We'll save the non-combat damage for the Pyreling trigger. Fine. 2 of them is pretty terrible. Alright, we just need a forest. And he might chump block and take the oven sack. That would be okay for us. If not, he's taking 4 damage plus the 1 from the spitter. Just straight up takes it all. Okie dokie. We need a forest off the top. Play our reef. He has 3 ovens. Alright, we do have a mana sink here at least. We can pay 2, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn, which is neat with the Cavalcade because we can buff it after the Cavalcade triggers, which is quite nice. So it's another way to utilize all of the mana that you're getting from the ramp of Risin Reef. And he just takes the damage again. Down to 8, playing as what appears to be a mono-red elemental deck. Ouch. So the land looks pretty good. It's a little bit sparing, but all of the colors are there at least. And if we draw a Risin Reef, we can play it with our druid. As a worst case scenario. We don't have anything to use forest on, so we'll use it as a colorless. Probably just casting our Spitfire. Something he definitely needs to remove. He's playing multiple lands, 2 additional lands each turn with Azusa. Just stack Spitfires, I guess. Then if he removes it, we still have another. We could continue to ramp mana, that would be ideal. Him playing Forest here is really, really bad. Like, we want to get our Scorch Spitters out, but with only 1 mountain, it is hard, because we need that 1 mountain. Ooh, Vito is busted. So whenever he gains life, we take that much damage. This isn't... No blocks, that's fine. The Rugged Highlands is actually really nice. And... I guess a 3rd Scorch Spitter, and hopefully we top deck Cavalcade. We'll play our Pyreling and our Scorch Spitter next. Oh! Everybody gets life gain.
Good thing I put that up.
That's not good, so we're going to take this much damage in return as well. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 14 damage total. Big ouchies. I guess we can block a couple things and still survive. Mitigating a little bit of the damage at least. Oh my lord. Vito is OP. And we don't top deck anything that's gonna help us. That's for sure. if we have enough mana for this, it might work. Putting haste on the spitter and having 3 Spitfires, I guess. Let's just go for it. So it's like 4, 8, 12. No, I don't think we get it. Pretty close though. And then he's just gonna nuke us with life gain. Woof. Alright. We forgot to record a couple really good matches. That's on us. Still gonna represent the deck as best we can with the time we have left. Scorch Spitter turn 1, Cavalcade turn 2. Let's get this this other guy out right away. Just some elemental tribal, don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Five damage next turn with our Cavalcade. Down to 11. He is just opting for land. That's a good hit. We have access to our wave if he has blockers, but I'm not concerned about a Steamkin. And I think this is lethal? Question mark? Next turn for sure. Oh my lord. No, that's nowhere near lethal. We do get rid of his Steamkin though. He's down to 5, and we have 5 damage on the field next turn. If he has blockers, we can nullify that. I mean, you can beat someone who landlocks with a budget deck. Alright, this is good. We've seen how all we basically needed was Cavalcade, Scorch Spitter, and the Cur, which could have been anything. So hopefully we can draw an island, get our Risin Reef in play, and that's where things really start to pick up. Some Catch Tribal, it seems like. This is probably terrible for us. You already got smashed by Cat Tribals one today. Let's just get a Defender out. It sucks, but we should probably block this 3-1 before it comes to 4-2. Bronzehide, definitely heavy Cat Tribal. We gotta make a play. Right, let's trade with the Lost Pride. Try to keep our Cavalcade in hand until we are able to flood the field, and then hopefully it's enough explosive damage to overwhelm them. This Bronzehide Lion is troublesome. Another Lennon of the Lost Pride. No block. Get a little bit of damage in. He's going to want to block these, get them off the field as soon as possible. The Garrison Cat makes a human when it dies. That's like annoying. both. Shame on everyone involved. Still has that Bronze Hide Lion, which is going to be really troublesome. And then the Orphan Guard as well. As the new companion rule, though, he's got to pay 3 just to bring it into his hand. And Necropanther Mutation, that's not good. 3 or less directly to the battlefield. Woof. Hey, that's not that bad. Four triggers from Cavalcade, and we have 3 more go through in damage. We do lose our Leafkin Druid, though. Ooh, that's not good. That gives his 3/3 lifelink, and he creates 2 more cats, also with lifelink. And then the stray comes from the graveyard from Necropanther. That's terrifying. We get our island a little too late, though. That's something we really like to do off the start. And he's gaining more life than we're doing damage, so can't say that that's good. We clean the field up a little bit, but still looking down the barrel of a 2-turn lethal. Why would he not mutate Necropanther on to the Cub Warden again? Wants to spread the value, I guess. Oh yeah, that's a Risin Reef. Look out. We only have 2 blockers, and he's got 3 attackers. That'll get through. Try. Good game. Let's try to win another match with this budget deck. Alright, praise the Lord, we found our land. A little too much, almost, but I'm not giving it away. We have been struggling to find the appropriate land. That is the free-to-play way, though. This deck does get a lot friendlier when you start incorporating the rare lands. Thunderkin Awakener as well is really good in the deck. 3-cost Chandra Planeswalker that makes the 1/1 elementals. Things like this are nice, easy upgrades that take it from a good deck to a great deck. Let's ride our mana curve, and then we can play these turn 3 and 4. Opponent's ramping, that's fine. Scorch Spitter does click up the Pyreling, which is nice. Every non-combat damage gets +1, +0, and double strike. Going crazy. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any one color, number of shrines you control. Interesting. Another Pyreling out. Target Highlands. Get our green source in play. Make it for 5 here, which is pretty cool. Down to 8. I haven't even played the Cavalcade. This is simply the Scorch Spitter and Chandra Pyreling. Double strike is busted. No trample on it, so all he needs is a 1 defender. Oh. Thought we weren't allowed to concede. Just kidding. Good game. So this is really good. We have all of our lands, plus 2 Cavalcades. Pretty broken. They're playing slow as well. Or are we? I think with 2 untapped lands, we can ride our curve up. and then play these again, turn 3 and turn 4. Next turn we'll play our Ingenious Cur. I think we're gonna play a Cavalcade next. Well, let's play both. We're pretty lucky. No attacks yet. We need to save our elementals. Oh no. Veto. That's terrifying. Gaining life is just so easy. Right. The Dryads are just good defenders as long as he's not dropping multiple lands. We're gaining life to stay alive, that's really nice. And I don't think we're ready to attack yet. Right? We just would wipe our field for not enough damage, 6 damage. Looking for Chandra Spitfire. Ooh, Red Presence is really good. Hopefully there's no lands after this. Gonna tap his blockers, which we're fine with. We have plenty of life. We can double block this Healer of the Glade, I'm pretty sure. Could have even single blocked it and spent our mana. Leaf can help any. We're in a weird spot, that's for sure. Dealing 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. He's got blockers for everybody but 1, so 10 damage only. And we lose our whole field state, plus he has Dread Presence and Veto, which is terrifying. We don't draw something real good, real fast. Like right here, we're taking 3 damage just from that. He gains 3 life, we take 3 damage. Awesome. Oh, and then Noxious Grasp, taking another damage. He gets removal. Wow. Gain 4 life. If a creature died this turn, you gain 8 life instead. Goodness gracious. There's 8 damage right to the choppers. Insane. And he's at 35 life now. No blocks. Veto is busted. What can we do? Ah. Nothing. He's out of cards. That's nice, right? That's one beneficial thing, I guess. We can double pump a Crag or a Cur. It is our turn, which is interesting. Man, I wish we had a little while ago. We know he's got mad blockers, and we're down to 7, which is terrifying. But all he needs to do is gain life, which is also terrifying. Do we go for it, or do we hold back? He's got 35 life. He can just take it on the chin. We can't do it. We need something obsessive. Uh-oh. This isn't pleasant. So let's just stop lethal, right? Getting hit for 1, 2, 3. Yes. Getting hit for 3. He's got 1 card in his hand, which kind of makes us nervous. Maybe we should have taken a little bit more damage to keep another attacker alive. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, that's fun. Alrighty, let's do our best. We need to draw land. And it needs to be red. I will not settle for anything else. Well, even any land, just so we can get Risin Reef in play. And then that'll allow us to draw a red sourced land. It's coming right off the top here, though. Don't worry about it. Let's just go for it. Okay, okay. Reef in play, I'll accept it. No quench. Pulling out a mountain. Negative. Okay, we have a full hand of red. Not a single red land. Awesome. If we draw one, though, we're in a really good position. Mayo, that's kind of annoying. What does he dig for? Right, it kind of gives us his strategy. Nissa? A wilderness reclamation. Awesome. The Risin Reef is not bad. I'm not going to complain. We get our mountain. Perfect. Draw another card. That's fine. Trying to trim to Mayo. Wilderness Wreck is in play here, and it's going to be a messy match. We're going to play our Scampering Scorcher. Try to avoid a counterspell.
To the library.
What's he look for now? The wolf? Nightpack Ambusher? It must be. Barry's tutelage doesn't get Mills and Uro. We see a Master of Time there. A little bit frightening. What are we going to come up against here? Frantic Inventory. Draw a card, then draw cards. Equal to the number of cards named Frantic Inventory in your graveyard. Interesting. Let's gain that life. I think we need it. And then we're going in with our first Scampering Scorcher. I'm sure he has counterspells, but let's get after it. It hits. We get a wicked ramp off our reef here. That's 6 triggers. Pulling Cavalcade is always awesome. One, two, three, four, five. Right, we have a huge attack base here, killing his Temur. Root Snare stops all combat damage. Loving it. Let's get rid of a couple things. Maybe we could have gotten rid of our wave. I don't think he's going to have any blockers at any point other than Uro. There's no Nexus, though. That's the thing. So he's got to be using discontinuity. And I don't know, maybe he's just going to mill us. I'm interested, I know that much. Is it a self mill? He's down to 31. We're at 40. We have plenty of life. Oh, he mills 2 Spitfires off the top. It's hilarious. It's a mad draw. He really needs to rely on root snares. He is milling the heck out of us. And Temur didn't minus on a root snare, so I'm pretty sure he's got another one in hand. Oh, he just immediately ends our turn. That's awesome. That's just as good as taking 2 turns. That's the Nexus loop. Just use discontinuity. I guess you only get to use this so many times though, because it does go into exile after, which is beneficial. We just need to survive this mill. We're down to 28. I'm not going to draw any more cards through Risin Reef. We're milling 4 cards here. That's aggressive. Let's say he's out of mana, but he's got Reclamation, so he's ready to counter whatever we try to do. He takes discontinuity right back from the grave. Right, we do get to drop one card though, or counters it. Interesting. If you drop discontinuity on a spell as it's cast, it doesn't resolve. It fizzles. So it ends their turn and counters their spell. Oh my gosh. That's aggressive. He's down to 24. Playing his Uro. We're at 19, so we're definitely in danger. Everything he does mills us by 4. That's not going to take long at all, especially when Teferi can draw a card each turn. So this mills us by 4. He can mill us by 4 on our turn. That is an insane amount of mill. Wow. Who would have thought Teferi Master of Time was a mill planeswalker? That's so cool. He gets a 3rd tutelage. R.I.P. That's insane. He's still got 2 mana left though, and Reclamation untaps everything. He can grab Root Snare from the grave with Temur, stop all damage. Or
Learned much from my ancestors.
frantic inventory just to grab a gazillion cards, which mills us even further. Look at this. This is incredible. 9 stacks of times 2 mil. So just in that play, he milled us for 18. Lordy, lordy, lordy. And now he auto wins because we can't draw. Alright, Elementals works pretty good as a free-to-play deck. Obviously, as a free-to-play deck, you're only going to get so much. But I think this is one of the best ones, and it's got a really friendly upgrade guide to it as well. So if you're interested in any of my other M21 pre-release event decks, go and check those out. They'll be in the most recent uploads before this. This was the 4th of them for today. So we looked at Esper Walkers, Bance Walkers, Salt Ice Self-Mill, and now free-to-play Elementals. So we got quite a bit done. Let me know what you guys thought of this deck in the comments below. Join the Discord. Subscribe on YouTube. You know everything to do. I've said it a gazillion times today. Most importantly, though, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow.